This should have been done a long time ago. It's simple. Simple, simple, simple. How come anytime the government needs money, they harass you, they charge you interest, they tell you, hey, you gotta pay it by this date. But when it's we, the American people, who are counting on something, it's like, yeah, we're still negotiating. We'll get to it when we can get to it. That's exactly what is going on with the stimulus deal. Now, leave a comment below and tell me right now, do you agree? Do you think this stimulus is long overdue? Just leave a comment below and share your opinion if you think that this should have been done a long time ago. I mean, this should have been forecasted pretty much right after the first stimulus was passed. They should have already started working on the second stimulus. They knew that the numbers were increasing from this virus. They knew the outcome of, the businesses shutting down, the impact it'd have on the economy. Yet here we are still negotiating a second stimulus with no final resolution. I mean, for hell's sakes, this is our money. We, the people, pay taxes. Yet when the government's like, oh, we're thinking about it, for the majority of Americans, this $1,200 stimulus is going right back into the economy anyways, for mortgage, rent, food, and other necessities. Because I'll tell you what, $1,200 is not going very far. The Federal Reserve is already printing money left and right. In fact, as of making this video today, the US national debt is over $26 trillion. Actually, it's getting really close to $27 trillion. While we're at it, why not start giving everybody $5,000, $10,000? You're already printing the money anyways. Everything's already super inflated, but that's not the point of this video. There are people who are really counting on this money. Congress decides to play back and forth games. It's really nothing but politics at this point. Why it hasn't been passed. Now, you probably heard that Trump passed an executive order for more COVID relief, but that didn't include obviously the $1,200 stimulus. And there was a little bit of confusion still as to what that included, so I'm just gonna break it down right now. 1, $400 weekly supplement to unemployment checks. 2, addressing the eviction ban. 3, suspend collection of payroll taxes. 4, in providing relief to student borrowers. The president can't draw money for the treasury that Congress hasn't approved. So obviously he couldn't pass a $1,200 stimulus check or any amount for that matter. It has to go through Congress, and that's what's in negotiations as of today. Yet the treasury continues to print trillions and trillions of dollars pretty much every single day, and you don't see any negotiation going on with that. Here's the thing, you want to help people? It's simple. Get people their stimulus check, get people their money. It's our money, we pay the taxes on it every single year. And for hell's sake, this money is going back into businesses anyways. $1,200 does not go far at all, especially in California. In fact, finding $1,200 in California is like finding a penny on the beach and picking it up because it might just bring you good luck. Okay, so what are the chances of Americans actually getting this $1,200 stimulus check? Let's talk about that. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin already said they can get payments out as soon as the following week, as long as Congress approves it. That's the key word. So it's like the Treasury is willing to work, but we're just waiting on the back and forth BS between Congress. Clearly the Treasury is not the issue. They have no problem printing up a storm of money. It's just Congress. And I think in this case, getting direct payments to consumers is very important because at the end of the day, the end consumer is what drives the economy. We're the ones who decide what we spend money on, whether it's food, whether it's rent, whether it's this or that. So as you know, you probably already know, the CARES Act was passed in March. That was a $2.2 trillion package. But what's really relevant right now is understanding the differences between the two packages now. The two packages now, which is the HEROES Act and the healsact. So let's go in and talk a little bit about the key differences. Now, the HEROES Act is democratic. It offers $1,200 to single filers up to $75K a year, annual adjusted grossed income, so AGI, versus HILS, which is Republican, and the guidelines are the same as the CARES Act for the income. Now, the HEROES Act also provides $600 in additional unemployment benefits. I'll put a list of side-by-side benefits on the screen now so you can compare the differences between both acts and kind of get an idea. Either way, either of these packages I think would greatly benefit the American people. I think we can all agree on that. So it's like, Congress, come on, meet in the middle, come up with some type of deal. And I'm pretty sure they are going to come up with some type of deal. The issue is that they're just dragging and dragging and dragging their feet. So based on the comparison that you see right now, tell me as a viewer, which one would you rather see passed? Which act? Would you rather see the HEROES Act or the HEALS Act? What do you think would benefit your family more at this time? So let's say they finally reach a deal. How soon could the stimulus checks actually be sent? Well, as I mentioned previously, the Treasury mentioned they can send out the checks as soon as the following next week. So what does that actually mean in a timeline? We're in August right now. We all saw how the first round of checks went. Anytime Congress or the government gives you a timeline, you better double it or even triple it, because usually their timelines are not accurate at all. Now, the IRS said they'll be able to send these second stimulus checks faster, but like I said, those are only words. How much can you expect to receive versus last time? Well, that's going to depend on which act is passed or what's agreed upon. It does seem for sure if you got $1,200 last time, you can expect at least that, right? Obviously, if you have a family and dependents, things are going to change there. Under the HEROES Act, the max that you'd get, though, is $6,000 as a family. That's in the perfect hypothetical world. Essentially, it proposes $1,200 for each adult, with the maximum of 3 dependents per family. HEALS Act is very similar to the CARES Act. It doesn't put a cap on how much a family can receive. It also doesn't limit dependents under the age of 17. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the age of your children. So when the deal is reached, that is the key. Look, I genuinely feel bad for the American people who are counting on this second stimulus check. It's just critical that you get these things done and plan ahead. I mean, that's part of being a so-called government and Congress, is to plan ahead for these things, you know? These pandemics, it's not like these things happen every single year. This is more of a once in a decade type of thing, in my opinion, or, you know, once every 20 years, once every 10 years. So there should already be funding or some type of relief set to the side for recessions, and that can actually be acted upon in a timely manner. I think that's the key word. There needs to be funds that can be used and acted upon in a timely manner, and basically have an emergency plan in place and not always waiting and scrambling for last minute. There should be clear-cut protocols for what happens, I guess, in a recession, or there should be clear-cut protocols what happens in events like this, in circumstances like this. So tell me right now if you agree. Do you agree with some of the decisions Trump has made with his executive order and providing COVID relief? Do you agree? Do you think his decisions were clear-cut? Do you think he had good intentions? Or tell me in the comment section below, what do you think the Democrats are doing? Do you think they're doing this to stall? Do you think it has to do with the election? I'd like to hear your guys' opinion. Please leave a comment below, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I think at the end of the day, what we can all agree on is just getting some type of relief, meeting in the middle, because at the end of the day, when there's these disagreements go back and forth between the parties, it's always the American people who have to suffer. Whether, it doesn't matter if you're Democratic, Republican, at the end of the day, you know, just get the relief to the people who need it, and that's it. You're already gonna do it anyways, so why not just do it faster? Because there's no reason and there's no excuses stopping you. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and do leave a comment below and share your opinion on everything that you think is going on with the stimulus check. I wanna hear your opinion. My opinion is, I think they should just meet in the middle so that the American people benefit. There just needs to be an agreement. That's my opinion. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we'll do real-time updates on this channel day by day with the stimulus check and any new information that gets released.